Welcome inside episode 546 of the Locked On Senators podcast. I'm Ross Levitan alongside Brandon Piller in the heart of our nation's capital in Ottawa, Ontario. And as you can probably tell by my voice, we witnessed one of the Senators' goals of the year last night in a 5-4 OT victory over the New Jersey Devils.
It was an amazing game, Ross. 2 goals for Drake, 4 points for Timmy. Only 2 games left in the season, though, but this has been one hell of a way to cap it off.
We'll discuss whether the wins now are worthwhile or if it would have been better to take the foot off the gas pedal. A Tank Watch check-in. We'll look at the 67s who are back in action tonight and some divisional AHL teams for seeding. We know Belleville's in, but who could they face in the first round? All that and more. This is the Locked On Senators podcast, your team every day.
Locked On Senators, your daily podcast on the Ottawa Senators. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.
Thank you for making Locked On Senators your first listen on this Wednesday, April 27th in Pilsy. That's one way to celebrate your 22nd birthday for Drake Batherson.
No kidding. I mean, what a game for the kid, and he caps it off with a beautiful overtime goal. I think Ty Smith is still trying to get up after that deke. Maybe his ankles are feeling a little rusty, and we were in the 100s for that goal, Ross. That was an absolutely electric moment in the CTC. Even though it wasn't division rivals like the Habs or the Leafs, it was a pretty packed building, and the energy, you could feel it, especially in a game with 9 goals. There was a lot of excitement to be had, and we had a blast yet again.
We certainly did, and that Drake Batherson goal was so necessary for him, right? He'd been struggling offensively, and I say that based on the standard that he set earlier on in this season since he's been back from that high ankle sprain. Hell, he might have given Ty Smith a high ankle sprain on that toe drag. Almost, and I think it was Steve Lloyd from 1200, almost Spezza on Surrey-esque. Now, there wasn't as much space for him to get past him and then make the move like Spezza did on Theodore, but the 2-touch that he did after getting past Smith to bring it from his backhand and then touch it forehand to make sure it went 5-hole past Mackenzie Blackwood, it was just a thing of absolute beauty. His second goal of the game as well. He is just finding that offense that brought him to where he had before. Remember we said yesterday, milestone tracker, got to get Drake back to over a point per game. Well, that's one way to do it, young man. Seriously, the 2-goal performance, played 22-19. He was absolutely outstanding. And we mentioned how it was the depth players on Saturday that came to play. Pilsy, the stars came out on Tuesday.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Tim Stützle with 4 points, and this is probably something I never would have expected. How about a shorthanded goal from Timmy and on a breakaway nonetheless? Maybe Connor Brown could learn a thing or two from the young superstar about how to put away a shorthanded breakaway goal. But Timmy, he got it done on both sides of the special teams as he scored a power play goal as well. So have a night for Timmy. And he's now got 22 goals on the year. And he was like right from puck drop, Ross. Like Timmy was feeling it. He even had... You guys know I get a little frustrated sometimes when Timmy's pulling dangles in his own end, but he had a couple beautiful dangles that I was not upset about at all in his own end to break the puck out of the ice, and he had an incredible game. And yeah, the stars of this game were what really shined, and that's what ultimately gave them the 5-4 win.
That was absolutely outstanding in his own zone. It was in the first period, and it kind of gave the whole crowd, and they wanted to, I think, give him a little extra buzz after Saturday. You know, it's a bit of a 50-50 split with boos and cheers. It certainly made for a vortex of energy when Stützle was carrying the puck up the ice, but it was all cheers. We got a Timmy chant going in overtime. The only problem is he was regrouping. So as we got the Timmy chant going, it's like, all right, buddy, you got to go that way. You got to go that way if you want an Alfie moment like he had in the playoffs where everyone's chanting his name. But those 4 points also pushed Tim Stützle to the top of the leaderboard among 2020 draft picks for only this year. Those Lucas Raymond fans had a 15-point lead back then, way back then. Well, now Lucas Raymond has played 81 games, 4 more than Tim Stützle, and has 1 less point.
Not bad for Timmy. I mean, that's what you want to see from him. And Yeah, it was just the atmosphere, just everything. Like when you think Sens, New Jersey Devils, typically in the past it's usually a couple snooze fests as both teams like to play a trap style game, throwing it back to Guy Boucher with the 1-3-1, and the Devils definitely play more defensive. But that was not this game, as it was like the Devils, they kept bouncing back into it, and
Oh yeah.
mostly Ross because the Senators gave them an opportunity to do so. Like the Devils getting over 40 shots without Heischer or Jack Hughes is not a great look for your team's defense. Probably another post-game press conference where DJ Smith is saying, yeah, we won the game, but there is a lot of things I want to nitpick here. And I guess getting a little ahead of ourselves, let's start with that Thomas Chabot power play goal, because that was an interesting one as well.
Yeah, it's not often you see the switch happen where the only defenseman of the 5-man unit is coming down net front, but it was good communication there between him and Stützle. Stützle, we know he's at his best when the puck is following him around the offensive zone. So he ends up at the top of the umbrella, and you can tell he's kind of grooving around. He moves it over to Norris. He's sliding in the middle. And while this is happening, Chabot goes from his spot at the trigger man at the right side, and he sneaks all the way down to the net front. He sneaks behind the Devils defenseman, and it's just a great one-touch pass from Brady Tkachuk, not knowing where the puck was, but where it needs to go. So great pass. Brady gets 3 assists. He gets his 100th assist of his career in this game as well. That was a beautiful goal and unexpected with only 16.9 seconds left. A little bit of a momentum goal, you could say.
Yeah, and Ross, that's yet another goal we missed because we were.
No, we didn't. We missed the second goal. Ian, our poor friend Ian Mendez, who now is officially friend of the show, we got to shake hands, chat with him. He came down to meet us. No, that goal, my buddy Wes from New York was messaging me on FaceTime.
Right, yes,
so I picked it up. I was like, hey, buddy, watch this power play. Literally, bingo, bango, bongo. It's in the back of the net. So that timing worked out great. But then that wasn't the only momentum goal. 11 seconds into the second period.
That's the one we missed, yes.
That's the one we missed. So poor Ian, I felt so bad because we got lost in conversation. Next thing we know, the horn's going off. And he's like, oh my God, I got to get back. I missed both goals. Don't worry, Ian. You had a couple more to cheer for, or write about, I should say, Ian's standpoint, because he's not like us, very obviously biased. He's like Mr. Down the middle. But you know what? At a hockey game, you like to see goals. So we're sorry for holding you back from 2, Ian. But God, what a game.
Yeah, and when we were talking to Ian, we were mentioning, Ross, that is only the second power play goal scored by a defenseman all season. The first one was Uncle Deli back in November. So the Sens were well due to have a defenseman get one on the power play. So I'm glad Thomas Chabot was able to kind of get that monkey off his back, as he had missed a lot of time. And we weren't even sure if he was going to come back this season. So for him to come back and to kind of snap that record, because imagine all season long, only Michael Del Zotto is the only defenseman that gets a power play goal, and it's way back in November. Like DJ Smith's trying to get the defenseman involved in the play, and having Thomas Chabot right at the net, that'll do it.
Yeah, it certainly will. And I'm glad it was Chabot of all guys, although at Bet Online, you and I had Eric Branchard to score his first goal of the year. He did get an assist. He's now set a career high, 14 points in a season for him. But that to say, Thomas Chabot, defensively, still a little rusty.
Yeah, still a little rusty for Thomas Chabot, but we'll give him a pass for now.
All right, we'll give him a pass. Let's break down the second goal of the game. We're going to do our Sens Central standouts. We're going to touch on Tyler Boucher and really just a quick overview of where all the players are in the WHL playoffs. But again, just great hustle on the forecheck from Brady Tkachuk. It's just an easy little dump-in play where I believe it's Batherson who makes the nice one touch so it doesn't go for icing. And then he finds his way into the slot. The devil's in the details usually, but not in this play defensively. They don't cover Drake as the second man in. Everyone's kind of puck focused, or they're watching Norris kind of sneaking into the slot, and he makes no mistake.
Yeah, and I want to shout out Brady on that play because Brady goes hard into the boards and ends up slipping and falling. But this is where a guy like Brady, like, he really shows why he's worth the money, because I feel like a lot of other guys, like, you crash into the boards, you fall, and maybe you're taking a second or two to collect yourself. Not Brady. He right away realizes the situation, gets the puck out to Batherson, and Batherson makes a nice move, and he ends up beating Blackwood there. So just an incredible play from two of your top guys.
It wouldn't be an Ottawa Senators game if they didn't allow the first NHL goal for an opponent. Nolan Foote scores his first and second NHL goals. His first one was just a nice little wrister, like not much defensively.
2-on-1 play, yeah.
Yeah, like you just kind of have to tip your hat, I think, on that one.
Yeah, and it was a nice shot because he was able to place it on the far top shelf while Forsberg was sliding back. So it was kind of a tough play for Forsberg there. I think I would have liked a little different approach for Hamonic there because he goes right at the guy with the puck, whereas Thomas Chabot was kind of in that area. So I think he could have stayed back a little bit there, but it's okay.
Yeah, Chabot tried to catch the breakout pass and it fell. Zetterlund gets it, and yeah, he kind of falls towards the player. I would have liked him to take the pass there
Exactly
as well. But you know what? Great placement on the shot. Nolan Foote, his first NHL goal. That made it 2-1, and the Senators did a great job, at least in the second. I mean, third we'll get to, but in the second, it was 2-0, then 2-1. But then they made it 3-1 before, and then once they made it 3-2, then they start the third. They make it 4-2. So they didn't allow the Devils to catch up until later on in this game. But Timmy's power play goal, I mean, it's just good passing again, right? Like that first unit, and it kind of just shows you how badly they need another forward because the first unit is so good, but when they don't score, it's just the power play may as well end right there. But when they do score, man, is it pretty. And this one, again, Brady kind of does that jam play that he loves, kind of comes out, and who better than Timmy to be patient, wait him out, and go short side upstairs.
Yeah, and that's the thing with Brady's jam play. I found myself getting frustrated with that throughout the season, Ross, being like, you've got the puck in a great area, and you're probably not going to score on that play. Like, have we seen Brady Tkachuk score on that jam play? I can't think of a time. If it has happened, maybe once or twice. But it was a play like this that made me appreciate it because maybe he's not trying to score every time on that play. He's just trying to create chaos. And that's what he does there because Blackwood gives up a big, low rebound as it bounces off his pads. And then Timmy's right there and he buries it. So I'm starting to come around on the jam play by Brady. And we didn't even mention it. And I didn't even realize, Ross, that Brady had 3 assists on this night. So that's one hell of a game from your captain at home.
It was a very good game from the captain. We'll get more into that game. We'll also tell you where Timmy gets going from here. What's next for a young superstar that now has a shorthanded goal in his career? Is that something we want to see more from him playing on the penalty kill? Or are his talents better saved for offensive situations? We're going to get into all that and more right after Pilsy has a word from one of our favorite sponsors.
Yep, and it's a same sponsor as yesterday's episode because you need to hear about this twice. It's HelloFresh, guys. It's America's #1 meal kit. You get farm fresh, pre-portioned ingredients and seasonal recipes delivered right to your doorstep. You don't even have to leave the house. It's just a few clicks away on your computer or mobile device. Skip the trips to the grocery store, skip the lines, and make cooking at home easy and fun and affordable. That's why it's America's #1 meal kit, guys. HelloFresh offers the flexibility you need to easily customize your online order in the app, easily change your delivery day, food preferences, plan size, or skip a week whenever you need to. So that's just perfect. You're not locked into anything. You have control of what you're getting, when you're getting, and it's perfect for families, for young couples. If you're on your own and don't want to have the hassle of doing all the cooking and prep by yourself, you can get pre-portioned meals delivered right to your door. Customize your favorite dishes with new Hello Custom. So there's more customizations that you can do by swapping out one protein or one side for another. Maybe you had a lot of chicken last week. Well, let's get a little pork, a little beef in there instead this time. You can upgrade for a more luxurious experience or even add protein to a veggie meal. So maybe you got a Caesar salad, but you want a little bacon in there too. I wouldn't blame you. So you can do that at HelloFresh.com. HelloFresh is 72% cheaper than a restaurant meal of the same quality. And you can save on average over $65 per month when you order HelloFresh instead of grocery shopping. That's money back in your pocket. We love to see it. And speaking of good deals. If you go to HelloFresh.com/LockedOn16, you're going to get yourself 16 free meals and 3 free gifts. How about that? So check it out today, guys, at HelloFresh.com. It's HelloFresh, America's #1 meal kit.
All right, Pilsy. So the Ottawa Senators defeat the New Jersey Devils 5-4 in overtime. And for the first time since March of 2017, they've won 4 straight games. This Ottawa Senators team, not only are they winning games, but they're doing it any way you'd like. They can go back and forth. But the consistent thing is they're scoring first in many of them. I mean, the Vancouver game, I think they were down 2-0 in that game in Vancouver. But since coming home, the Columbus game as well, they give up the first goal. So I shouldn't say that, actually. I'm getting a little too horse blinded by the fact that these 2 home games, you score 11 goals in the last 2 games at home. You're feeling pretty good about yourself. But you can go all the way back to the game in Detroit. Since then, the Ottawa Senators are 6-1-1 in their last 8 games. There's 2 games left in the regular season. Detroit is nipping at the draft lottery positioning because they can't win a game. They can't win a game. Lucas Raymond can't carry them anymore. It's over. It's too bad. Do you want them to win these last 2 games? Please tell me it's an easy answer.
Yeah, it's an easy answer, of course, especially the home game. And especially if you're heading to that game, Ross, we definitely want to see another W. And the thing is, looking at the Tankathon simulator here, if Detroit and Buffalo do end up jumping them in draft lottery odds, it's only a difference of 1.5%, Ross. So,
but that's for the initial lottery. They would still draft ahead of them if they don't win.
Yeah, I'm not too concerned about it. And especially, Ross, if we've seen a couple Ottawa Senators drafts, we know that it doesn't really matter whether the Sens are picking 4th or 8th. They're going to pick their guy, even if he's ranked 25th overall by most scouting people online. So I'm not too concerned about where the Sens are going to go. And I love seeing Sens W's. The vibes are always best when the Sens get a couple wins here. So I'm not in a mode where I'm cheering for losses. No, screw that.
No, exactly. And Buffalo's also won 4 straight, we should say. They're 2 points ahead of Ottawa right now. So they're in the red in Tankathon terms.
Yep.
Always find that too funny to me. But it's going to be 7th, 8th, or 9th that the Senators will draft.
So either way, better than last year.
Exactly.
They
7th.
They had 10th odds.
Unless one of the teams just below them, because you can't move up more than 10 spots in the lottery. Yeah. Anyways, it's all confusing. May 10th, draft lottery. We will recalibrate by the time we get to then. But right now, we're enjoying the best stretch of Sens hockey in 5 years. Like, can you believe it when you hear it said like that?
It's crazy. And they didn't have the winning streak last year, but it's just so, it's literally a carbon copy of last year. Yeah. They crapped the bed to start the year. They do it again this year.
Identical records through 20 games.
Yeah, it's insane how consistent they are in this way. And it's just funny that at the end of the year, when they have the most injury troubles, similar to last season, is when they end up figuring it out. So let's hope that they can actually build off this momentum and bring it into next year's training camp and the start of next season, because last year we thought that was going to happen and it didn't. So, but to be fair, there was some training camp injuries and some early injuries, and Brady didn't show up the first couple of games. So there was some things that hindered them getting off to a good start, but fingers crossed that doesn't happen again next season. 4
wins in their first 20 games, Pilsy. That cannot happen. That number needs to be at least 12 next year in their first 20 games.
Yeah, at bare minimum, they got to be at 500. A bare minimum.
Yeah, the irony of this stretch that they're 6-1-1 is the regulation loss was maybe their worst effort in years when they had 14 shots in Seattle.
That definitely, I can't, off the top of my head, that's one of the worst games I've watched the Senators play in a long time, and that's saying something.
Yes, 100%. But last night, they still got outshot. You know what? That to me is the craziest stat of this 4-game win streak, Pilsy. They've been outshot in every single game. 37-31 to Vancouver, 34-26 to Columbus, 48-26 to Montreal, and 41-34 to New Jersey. But
That's what happens when you got good goaltending, though. Forsberg, Gustafsson, they've stepped things up here. And when you've got a goalie in the back of in the crease that you trust, it allows you to feel a little lighter, and it allows you to take those offensive chances and maybe get some breakaways on a penalty kill if you're able to.
Yeah, I mean, you can even go further back. They got outshot in Seattle. They got outshot by Toronto. They got outshot by Boston. So in this 6-1-1 stretch, 8 games, you have to go back to the first of the 8 games where they outshot their opponent in the 4-1 win against the Detroit Red Wings. Like, that's how far back you have to go. Where Timmy had the 2 empty net goals, that's how far back you have to go the last time the Ottawa Senators outshot their opponent. But you said it, man. Anton Forsberg really just establishing himself as a starting goalie at the NHL level, and a great one at that. If we're sorting by save percentage right now, let's do minimum 25 starts.
Yeah, that's a good threshold. Yeah.
25 games played. You're looking at the guy with the 11th best save percentage in the National Hockey League, .001 behind Andrei Vasilevsky. So that to me just tells you exactly what you need to know about this guy. It was his 45th game last year as well. And if I pull up his stats right now, 45 games, he played 35 once in Chicago.
Yep.
The next most games he ever played in a single season in the NHL, Pilsy, was 8 last year in Ottawa.
Yeah, it's crazy what Forsberg's been able to do. And Ross, I'm going to say it, and I don't even think this is a hot take. Anton Forsberg is the greatest waiver wire pickup in Sens history.
Ooh.
Gotta be.
Let us know in the comments if you're smashing your steering wheel because there's another one that we're missing right now. I'm going to put that out on Twitter.
Unless somebody's a big Adam Gaudette fan.
No, but I'm thinking in history, like if there's a guy who I'm just slipping on right now who they picked up, but I can't think of anything.
I challenge someone to find a better Sens waiver wire pickup. There's no way.
All right.
Ian Mendez will know. Ian's going to pull one out of his hat and let me know.
Oh, 100%. Because when I think waivers, automatically my brain goes to like Mike Hoffman clearing waivers when he was younger and nobody took him. So waiver claim by the Ottawa Senators.
Yeah, exactly.
Better than Anton Forsberg. I can't think of one off the top of my head. Why don't you tell us a word from one of our other favorite sponsors? I'm going to put out the tweet at Sens Central, and we'll see if we get a quick reply of a guy who at least makes it a conversation. Because right now, it's got to be Anton Forsberg.
Yeah, that's for sure. And Anton Forsberg will be getting his Built Bars in throughout this 3-year deal because, hey, he's nominated for the Bill Masterton Award for Perseverance. Well, a good way to persevere is to be fueled up properly with the protein bar that tastes like a candy bar. It's Built Bar. There's so many amazing flavors to choose from. If you guys haven't had a chance to try them, I recommend getting the mixed box because all the flavors are great. If you're a chocolate lover, all the bars are covered in 100% chocolate, so there you go. If you're a marshmallow lover, the Built Bar Puffs are with protein-infused marshmallow. Yes, that is a real thing, and it is delicious. There's so many different flavors that you can try. Like the Puffs, listen to this. There's churro, coconut marshmallow. Their flavors, I love them all. They're low calorie. They're high protein. Toss all those candy bars in the garbage. All your other protein bars, you're not going to want them anymore because Built Bar will taste better and is better for you. If you go to Built.com, you can use our promo code LOCKED15. We're going to hook you up with a nice little deal. You're going to get 15% off your first order. So go to Built.com, use our promo code LOCKED15 for 15% off. It's Built Bar, the protein bar that tastes like a candy bar.
All right, Pilsy. Thank you to my friend Dylan at Fighting Stützle for reminding me that we have a card to give away. And then we'll get back to chatting about, we didn't even get to the second, third period, Pilsy. I got too carried away by the 4-game win streak that last segment. But this Kyle Turris card right here, if you had followed us on Twitter at Sens Central and followed at Fighting Stützle, our 2 personal accounts, and Sens Central, you would be eligible for this card. And we've got the winner. It's at realtor_Eric_.
Ooh.
Eric Arbeau, you are the winner of this beautiful Kyle Turris autographed card. Thank you for being a Sens Central citizen. If you want to represent being a Sens Central citizen. Pilsy's got the shirt hanging right behind him on YouTube, but if you're just listening, we've got these great shirts. If you want to see models of them, we're getting lots of great feedback on social media.
Good looking Sens fans.
We even saw a couple at the CTC last night.
Yep.
Undefeated since the shirts have been released, Pilsy. 2-0 when the Sens Central Citizen shirts are released. I'm also on a 6-game Sens heater. They haven't lost a game in front of me since 2018. So let's continue that stretch going. Anisimov OT winner against Dallas. The Chris Phillips retirement game. Got the even the preseason game. Ridley Gregg scoring that goal in Winnipeg. Home opener this year. The game in Winnipeg this year. 4 goals in the third period. How are you? And then the 2 wins right now. So I'll be at Fan Appreciation Night if I have any voice left, honestly. But what a stretch of hockey for the Sens here. And congratulations as well to Eric for winning that. All right, let's get back to the 5-4 overtime win. We'll finish up the show with a quick AHL and CHL conversation surrounding Sens prospects as well. But Pilsy, most importantly here, or should we get so we do these little locked on nows after Ottawa Senators games, and I don't know if there was too much noise in the background. I don't know what was going on, Pilsy, but they didn't put ours in the mix. So I'm actually going to have to convert this to an MP4, but we're going to play that at the end of the show because the boys were feeling it down in the 100 level yesterday. So before we get to that, let's get back to the game itself. I think we basically covered the first half of it, at least past when Timmy had his power play goal. But these momentum goals were all over the place. We had one at the end of the first period with Chabot. We had one at the start of the second with Batherson. Some goals in between. But then Nolan Foote scores with 6 seconds left in the period. Did that make you nervous that the lead became 1?
No, Ross, I wasn't nervous at all. I mean, the Senators, when all your top guys are firing off like this and New Jersey is missing 2 of their top guys, I like the odds there. And Forsberg, when he gets a lot of shots, we know this wasn't a 40-plus save win as the Devils, they had 41 shots, so he didn't get 40 saves. But it was a W, and he likes feeling the puck, so not at all. Wasn't nervous.
And you become even less nervous at the start of the third period when Tim Stützle on a shorthanded opportunity. His hands are so ridiculous. I mean, we talked about it in the shootout the other day, but man, when this guy gets in, and he wasn't even in all alone. He had a defender or a back checker coming right at him, and he still has time to tuck it in. This was pretty similar to the goal he scored against Columbus earlier this year, where he went backhand past Merzlikins there. Did you kind of see the resemblance?
Yeah, definitely. And the one thing that I liked about this goal, Ross, is look at the 4 players on the ice for this shorthanded goal. Tim Stützle, Josh Norris, Eric Brandstrom, and Travis Hamonic makes sense back there. But you got 3 offensive-minded guys. And Ian Mendes and I were talking about this. Like, it would be great to see Timmy not only shift. We were talking about getting Timmy on the second power play unit just to give the second power play unit a little bit of oomph. But also, why not get him on the second PK unit? Because it's the end of the season. You're experimenting. And then hopefully you can get him matched up against other teams' second power play units. And you get weaker opponents. And you get offensive chances like this. Like, how many times have we seen Connor Brown and Alex Formanton get offensive chances shorthanded? So if you know your team's able to pull that off, why not put some of your best guys in the position to do that? So Josh Norris, Tim Stützle, and then Eric Brandstrom, those are guys we would not expect to see killing penalties, but they not only killed the penalty, but they scored on it. So that was an incredible display from those guys.
I was feeling good about the puck line at that point, but the lead slipped away. The Devils scored twice in just under 3 minutes of game time. How did this one slip away?
Ross, we were laughing about it not only during the live play, but when we were watching the replay together. The goal that made it 4-3, Scott Sabrin, he sails this puck so far high and wide. Like, he had a great lane, a great option to shoot. So he says, all right, I got a couple apples under my belt. I'm feeling a little offensive lately. I'll take this shot instead of looking for Brady backdoor. He rips one. Nowhere close to the net. It rims off the glass. New Jersey comes back the other way. And of course, they score on that goal. So that wasn't great there. And then the goal that ends up tying it, that's just a scenario where Travis Hamonic wasn't able to clear the puck out of the zone, and the Devils make him pay for that mistake. So tough couple plays there that allow the Devils to claw their way back into this game and ultimately send it to overtime. But that's where, when you've got all these injuries and you've got guys that aren't used to being in certain scenarios, these mistakes are going to happen.
And then the fourth goal for me, like, we're not going to nitpick him too much, but that was similar to the goal that Anton Forsberg let in against Anaheim earlier this year before I was fully sold on him, where the puck's on the ice and one of his pads is not on the ice.
Yeah.
You'd probably like to see him have that. He would probably like to see him have that.
Definitely. That's the thing. He knows, and he's been solid otherwise, so it's okay.
Yeah, we'll let that one slide, of course, especially the way he's been playing. Now, we always talk in the postcast, and again, you have to forgive us, no postcast, but we were two boots on the ground, too many boots on the ground, too many beers on the ground to be doing that last night. But we have an inaugural bike helmet and shades, none other than Bobby Schmutz. Drake Batherson gets the win. He looks like he's plotting up a mission right there, but well-deserved. There were a few games earlier in the season where he should have been in the mix for this, but man, it wouldn't have been right to finish the year without probably the most talented offensive player. How long can we still say that, though? Because Timmy is closing the gap. At the start of the year, it was just a no-brainer. Like, he's the best player on the team. I don't even know if you can say that anymore, but he certainly contributed in a highlight reel fashion in yesterday's win.
Yeah, it's an argument now, Ross, because you're looking at Brady Tkachuk, who leads the team with 65 points. So you feel like he should get in the mix of that conversation. Timmy just absolutely lighting it up lately. And then Josh Norris has 34 goals. So there's definitely guys that can challenge him for that spot, but well deserving of the bike helmet and shades. And Cassie gives a shout out to Forsberg, gave a shout out to Timmy, but ultimately it went to Drake.
He even gave a shout out to Nikita Zaitsev, who did throw a huge hit in last night's game. Not saying it's his best game, not saying that he was fantastic, but he certainly did bring a little bit of oomph. He had 4 hits, a game high among defensemen, because it's hard to lead the team in hits in a game that Parker Kelly's playing in. He had 6 hits in just under 14 minutes of action. We mentioned that Tim Stützle got out there, played a couple shifts shorthanded, only 44 seconds, and gets a shorthanded goal. So not that there were many opportunities. The Devils went 0 for 2 on the power play. The Sens went 2 for 3 on the power play. And despite being outshot, they did win the faceoff battle barely, 51% to 49. Now, the Devils, I'm just realizing it now, they went with 7 defensemen, although Gertson kind of plays forward, so I don't know why he's listed as a defenseman there, but it's a team. It's a team in New Jersey that you could tell was missing their 2 first overall picks. Let's put it that way.
Yeah, it was very obvious that they were missing a couple of components there. And the Sens, Ross, they did win the face-off battle, so you love to see that.
All
that
right,
was my key to victory, so there we go. Although it was 51 to 49%, so just barely.
My lookout player didn't do much, man. Dawson Mercer, I didn't notice him much in that game at all.
Yeah, me neither. Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah. So, all right. Well, that's that. Now, I just want to regroup on a couple milestones here. Okay. Let's play this great original game. Okay. Yay or nay? I'm just kidding.
Oh, that's a great idea. Wow.
I'm kidding. But do you think Brady Tkachuk will hit 30 goals at 29 right now? Because now he's a disher. Now he's a disher.
Yeah, three apples. Yeah, he will. Yep.
Does it surprise you when I tell you that Brady Tkachuk has the most assists on this team?
It definitely surprised me. I think it wouldn't surprise me as much if we see a full, healthy Thomas Chabot.
Fair. Yep, that's fair. Chabot has 28.
Or even a full, healthy Batherson, right?
Yeah, Chabot has 8 less assists, and he's played in 20 less games. So
yeah, there you go. And Batherson, 33 less games and 9 less assists. So I think he might have made that up.
Math guy. Love that. Tim Stützle, will he get 3 points in his last 2 games? He's at 57 right now. 60 would be an unbelievable milestone.
Oh, 60 would be great. Yeah, you know what? I'm going to stick to my trend, Ross, because it's been working. No, Tim Stützle, no chance. Absolutely
Josh Norris,
not.
34 goals for Norris. Does he get 1 more?
Yeah. Yeah.
All right.
You're
Connor.
missing a couple milestones that I thought you were going to hit on, though. We're trying to get as many 20 goal scorers on this team as possible. Drake, 3 away. Alex Formanton, 2 away. So those could happen for sure. And we're still waiting on those milestones we talked about yesterday. Eric Brandstrom, 1 goal.
Austin Watson, 10 goals.
Let's hope for that. And Austin Watson, 10 goals. So that we'll see. And just quickly, speaking about Brandstrom, I thought he had a decent game. And
yeah, he was really nice. He was
scrolling down
bucks.
here. He was a +2. He was the only, well, there's a couple zeros, but then Hamonic and Chabot were -2 and -3 respectively. So
Yeah.
Branny at a +2 with an assist and 3 shots on goal just under 20 minutes and 3 blocks too. That's the thing. Like, I think Brandstrom in the right role can be an effective player. Now, obviously, I know being a third or even second pair defenseman as the main piece for Mark Stone is not great, but we need to move past that and accept that this is where Brandstrom is. I think he can find a place on this team. It's just not going to be where people want it to be, or it might not be as soon as people want it to be. So I'm giving Brandstrom a little credit here.
For sure. And when it comes to Hamonic and Chabot, like, Chabot is rusty. He would tell you that he's rusty.
It's
playing with a new partner. Hamonic has not looked the same as he did at the start of his tenure in Ottawa the last handful of games. The fact that they're winning despite that, I think, tells you a lot about where this team is heading going forward.
But then also consider Hamonic's had a big change in role. He was a third pair defenseman with Michael Del Zotto when he was doing well, right? And then getting bumped up to the first pair, going up against other teams' best offensive players. That's going to make a difference. So we'll give him a break there. At Ross, we were laughing about it. Hamonic's getting used to playing with Chabot as they were in the offensive zone, and Chabot has the puck, and Hamonic's beaver tailing for the puck. We're like, yeah, Travis, you're going to have to learn. You're probably not going to get that pass from Chabot when he has it in the offensive zone. But hey, good on him for wanting to get involved in the play there.
Yeah, it's a nice thought, but it ain't happening, Travis. All right, we're going to touch on the AHL briefly and as well the CHL, but here is our post-game wrap-up. Very brief, very emotional as the 3 stars are coming in. This is one you'll want to tune in for on YouTube.
4 in a row for the first time since 2017. I'm Ross Levitan alongside Brandon Piller, reporting on a 5-4 overtime victory. And Pillsy, the game winner, with all that and more.
Drake Batherson puts this one away. Never in doubt, Ross. Let's go.
2 goals and an assist for Tim Stützle. Lots to break down tomorrow. Unlocked on Senators. Enjoy it. From the CTC.
Let's go. Timmy!
That Timmy at the end was all time, and it was 2 goals and 2 assists for Tim Stützle. You'll have to excuse my stat was a little off, but the vibes were right on point.
Don't let the facts get in the way of a good time, Ross. Who cares?
That was so much fun, man. What a great couple of days. Thanks to all the Sen Central citizens who were a part of it. And I'm just gearing up for the home opener, man. That's all that really solidified.
You got a couple more games before that. Come on.
Oh, geez. I need rest.
You need home for a rest, eh?
Yes, absolutely. But there is actually rest right now for the Belleville Senators. They're off until Saturday, but we've got division game tonight. The Toronto Marlies are facing off against the Laval Rocket. Pilsy, who should Sens fans be cheering for in this one? It's tough.
Yeah, I was gonna say probably Laval, right?
Do you though?
Let me.
Because if they lose, they could drop below Belleville.
Yeah, no, you're maybe cheering for the Marlies here.
It's tough because Toronto and Laval both have 3 games remaining. And if Toronto wins tonight, they don't pass Belleville. They would set themselves up to potentially do it in the future in their next 2 games. Although then it could just make the Toronto-Belleville game next Saturday because that's their opponent for seeding or for home ice. I think I'm cheering for Toronto. I think that there is a better chance that Belleville could jump up into that 3 seed and then not even have to worry about the play-in.
Yeah, we're not math guys here, so I can't do this in my head, but maybe what you're cheering for is obviously all regulation.
Yes.
You don't want anything. That's one thing we know for sure is no 3-point nights, but you might be cheering for one Laval loss, one Marlies loss, and then the Sens beat the Marlies on the last game. That might be a perfect scenario. So someone will let me know if that's the dumbest idea ever or not. But the Marlies, talk about being stuck between a rock and a hard place. Are we cheering for a Toronto-based team or a Montreal-based team? That's not something we usually like to say on this show. That's for damn sure.
No, absolutely not.
But the Marlies and Laval, they not only play tonight, Ross, but they have a back-to-back. So it's going to be very interesting to see how those two games shape out.
Oh, it will be absolutely interesting. It's also going to be interesting what happens to Ridley Gregg and the Brandon Wheat Kings. He had a huge, enormous monster hit in last night's 3-1 loss. He's still looking for his first. Did he? I don't think he did. Yeah, no, still looking for his first point since returning.
He's rusty.
Yeah, still got a nice little goaltender interference penalty, though.
Oh,
no, he didn't. No, he didn't, Pills.
What? What? Suspended?
No. 8 PIMs, though.
Hey, no, that's perfect, Ross. That's how you know he's getting back into form.
None of them were offsetting either. A high stick, a trip, a goalie interference, and a slashing at the final buzzer.
Yeah, no, that gives me hope that he's going to get back into the offensive swing of things. If he's getting into the box, that's how you know he's back.
5 shots, 8 penalty minutes for Ridley Gregg last night. And the Brandon Wheat Kings are now trailing in their best of 7 series. I don't know. Is it 3-1 or is it 2-1? I think it's 2-1, but they play back-to-backs. They go crazy. 2-1. Red Deer leads. They're playing game 4 tonight in Brandon. Meanwhile, Carson Latimer's season is about to come to a screeching halt. Pilsy, I warned you about the Winnipeg Ice.
Yeah.
Game 3, Winnipeg 10, Prince Albert 1.
Oh, boy.
So that's rough. Meanwhile, since they are moving from Everett to Vancouver, which I believe is like a 40-minute drive, they're still waiting to play game 3. That'll happen tonight at 10 o'clock in Vancouver. So that's Zach Ostapchuk's season, who's got 4 assists in the 2 games so far. So that's your rundown there of the
Ross, you're burying the lead on the juniors prospect roundup here. How about the Ottawa 67s?
Well, what about last night? Did we get the win we deserved here? Yep, 6-4 Kingston over Oshawa last night, and
another 6 goals for Kingston. Wow.
Yeah, no doubt. Ben Roger with another assist there. Or am I going back to? Were there games? Am I crazy?
Give Ross a second to collect himself here.
Yeah, give me a second here. No, you know what? You know why they actually lost 4-3? There you go. The more you know.
Okay.
The more you know. Sorry, my computer was acting up there and pulled me back to that game. Ben Roger, -1. Not much going. Merrilainen, 4 goals on 33 shots. You're not always expecting a sweep there. It's the 3-6 matchup as well. So Kingston's got some work to do here going forward. And as you mentioned, tonight, can Tyler Boucher and the 67s stay alive? Game 4 at the Civic Center. Get your tickets. Great atmosphere there. You think they do it?
First off, everyone in the Ottawa area, get out to this game. Fill the barn for the boys so they can feel the energy. There wasn't as many people as I thought there was going to be for a playoff game. I know
Monday night.
I know it's a Monday, but now we got a little more on the line here as they're down 3-0, so they could use all the support they can get. And it's tough though, Ross, because obviously North Bay has outplayed them in every game, but you look at game 2, that one ends 7-6 in the final seconds of the game. And then you look at game 3 and it's an OT loss. So it's not like they've been completely blown out here or they haven't had a chance. So it'd be nice if they could get one at home. So go out and support the 67s, guys.
We will have a recap and let you know what's next for Tyler Boucher. Could he join Belleville following the 67 season? We believe Ridley Gregg will, so why not Tyler Boucher, even if it's just to watch and practice Black Aces type play? Who knows? But that will all be coming soon, and you know where to find all your daily Ottawa Senators coverage right here on the Locked On Senators podcast. That's free and available wherever you get yours, whether it's Apple, Spotify, Google Play, YouTube. Throw us a subscription, a follow. They go a long way to help grow the show. First place, once again. We like to see how deep we can get into the playoffs before that shifts. You know that we're not taking the foot off the gas pedal. Come playoffs, we'll follow our Sens abroad. And a very interesting offseason coming up for Pierre Dorion and the Ottawa Senators. But for today, we say goodbye. For Brandon Piller, I'm Ross Levitan. This has been the Locked On Senators podcast. Your team every day.